We recently received a DNA testing for ancestry which reveals the exact ancestry and origin of all 8 billion today living modern humans. This kind of DNA testing uncovers the person's geographic origins, traces the person's lineage, and finds living relatives. This DNA testing for ancestry result was sent to us by a UK woman. This test gave as result places that are exclusively on the bias hypothesized main routes of the Amazon amerindians that made use of the main currents just like the whales, turtles, eels etc. did and still do today. We have been publishing about these routes for several years now, possibly for as much as 7 years. This exclusivity of geographic locations only in association with the Amazon Amerindian sea routes points out an extreme association, and also points out transoceanic and transcontinental navigation. Further, it points out that the expansion and peopling of the world was not overland as consensus dogmatically assumed for the last 100 if not thousands of years, certainly not so initially. Certainly these Amazon Amerindians, or those who are carrying them, used constellation navigation probably quite similar to the one Polynesians used consistently. According to us, the in her results featuring Y-DNA haplogroup C and X are of American origin, and we have and present plenty of relevant scientific evidence of this. So we also know the direction of the geographically represented locations, that is totally in association and in accordance with the geographic location returned by her very enigmatic test results. Maybe some or most of those that assist this video or read our comments in other videos cannot see why all our claims are totally proven by the evidence in general, but by this test very specifically and in extreme detail. What is also proven is that the mentioned Surui tribe is the oldest ghost in the world, except it is not a ghost, it is in fact an actually thriving indigenous tribe which was discovered and made contact with, this only 57 years ago. Today most or all of this tribe today speak Portuguese, certainly the younger do. Today, only 57 years later, the majority of the Paiter Surui people live within their officially designated reserve, the Sítio de Setembro indigenous land, located in the states of Rondônia and Mato Grosso, Brazil. While around 1,900 individuals reside in over 20 traditional villages inside the territory, about a third of the population lives in or near surrounding urban centers and towns like Cacol, Espigão do Oeste, and Porto Velho. A breakdown of how the Surui people live today highlights both their traditional preservation and modern urban integration. Life in the reserve, Sítio de Setembro it. Population. Approximately 1,900 Surui people reside here across about 24 villages. Economy and sustainability. The community engages in sustainable agroforestry, such as specialty coffee farming, and operates ecotourism initiatives, including the Turismo Paiter Surui Agency. Territorial protection. The reserve spans roughly 248,000 hectares. Residents use modern technology, including drones and satellite monitoring, to protect the perimeter against illegal loggers and miners. Life in the city or outside the reserve. About a third of the Surui population lives permanently or semi-permanently outside the indigenous territory. Urban integration. Many individuals move to nearby cities like Espigão do Oeste and Cacol for educational, professional, and medical opportunities. Transitional living. Many Surui maintain a two-worlds lifestyle. Prominent figures and students frequently split their time between the convenience of the city and their ancestral villages to preserve their culture while engaging in global activism. The daughter of the chief attended an international event where she attended in English. We are thinking of Brazilian indigenous activist Chai Surui, Walaleso Etchij Paiter Bandeira Surui, daughter of the prominent Paiter Surui chief Almir Surui. She gained international recognition after delivering a powerful opening speech in English at the 2021 UN Climate Change Conference, COP26, in Glasgow, Scotland. In her address, she powerfully highlighted the realities of climate change, deforestation, and the threats facing indigenous land defenders. While we of this channel have quite a peculiar vision, which is not typical for activists, nor typical for so-called climate deniers, about climate change and climate action, we do not agree with everything she says and acts on. That said, we have the greatest respect for all members of the Surui tribe, and in fact for all Amazon Amerindians. We think that our claim that they are cognitive capable just like modern humans is not an exaggeration, and most probably a clear underestimation. The Paiter Surui indigenous people in the Brazilian Amazon, Rondônia, produce highly acclaimed, organic specialty coffee. Cultivated using ancestral agroforestry systems without pesticides, their beans have broken international sensory records, positioning them as premium exports well suited for the European market. The discoveries, landmark genetic research, published in Nature and Science, compared Surui DNA with global populations and revealed that the Surui share an unexpected genetic affinity with indigenous Australians, New Guineans, and the Andaman Islanders. In population genetics, population Y is indeed a living ghost. In population genetics, a ghost refers to an ancient, genetically distinct group of humans who are known only through the genetic echoes left in the DNA of living people today, rather than through physical fossils or ancient DNA. But in the case of the Surui, the ghost is identical to the tribe, or rather the tribe is identical to the ghost. And modern humans across the world carry a portion of DNA that is identical to the ghost as well as the living and thriving tribe. These modern humans across the world carry a portion of the ghost that in this case in fact is a living tribe's DNA, this while they do not carry DNA of the country or the region they live in. The ghost or the tribe at the time departed over the Andes and down the Amazon forest, crossing the Atlantic and expanded all over the world in an unmixed form. So they or the ones that carried them carefully preserved their original genome. This is big, because this fits in with a recent claim of David Rai, through Dwarkesh Patel and or its channels, that modern humans made Neanderthals. While these Surui are modern humans living and thriving that made and expanded modern humans all over the world. So much so that modern humans of today across the world that had DNA testing done are informed that they carry DNA identical to the Surui tribe, something that is uncommon altogether, this while this tribe first met with the outer world only 57 years ago. Virtually 100% of modern Europeans, and in fact all 8 billion humans in the world, share a small percentage of the specific genetic lineage of the Surui, which are Amazon amerindians. However, in the case of modern Europeans, it does not come from direct, recent contact. We will prove here and now that it comes from ancient and million-years-old human ancestors that lived and obviously thrived in the Amazon forest, at least partly to their very sustainable and autonomous agricultural or rather carbon agroforest practices. Here we are, your multidisciplinary think tank, with some elements that David Rai is not familiar with, ready, after 7 years of intense research in the subject and David Rai's research, to be interviewed by Dwarkesh Patel and or David Rai whenever they want. We are familiar with carbon agroforests as well as with ADE soils, which provingly and logically were essential for our earliest ancestors, and of which there is clear evidence as well as artifacts in the field, as well as in the human genome, under the form of ghost DNA and ghost markers, as these were detected by David Rai and a significant number of scientists. Amongst our backgrounds are forestry engineering, carbon agroforests, terra preta, as well as ADE soils provingly and logically were essential for our earliest ancestors, especially for the Surui and the tribes and indigenous groups that carry the highest frequencies of population Y, which is a kind of a living ghost or in fact rather a clear living and identical ghost. This while these individuals clearly are not ghosts and still living, and even thriving health-wise and reproduction-wise. They had contact with non-indigenous people only 57 years ago. A kind of proof they were never contacted before is the fact that after the supposed initial contact, which exposed the tribe to modern diseases to which they lacked immunity, caused their population to drop significantly from around 5,000 to roughly 250 individuals within a few years. In these 57 years, this unique tribe has successfully rebuilt its population, growing to over 1,400 members, this in the absence of healthcare.